how the workforce is 50% of it could be retiring over the next 5 to 7 years. And I thought about that. I'm like, oh my God, he's right. And what are we going to do? It's not like this industry has a huge pipeline of developed leaders in the space. Like, how do you think this is going to play out in terms of just the people side of it?
Well, the workforce, the frontline worker, they're just such a rapid growth. And you have to have the management people behind it to support it. And it just has outgrown or grown faster than we've been able to keep up with. They've done a great job with the resources they have, but for the long run, it is probably the biggest challenge out there, is where are we getting the people and how are we getting them trained quick enough to manage it as well as to do the work. It is going to be exciting.
Do you think then, like, do you actually think this will become like a university major? Like, in the next 5 years that, major schools across the country will have like a vegetation management sort of focused degree, or, arboriculture degree. Like I know colleges and some universities have that, and maybe I don't actually. Maybe I'm not aware of the depth of that. I don't believe that it's formalized in most institutions.
Very, very little has been done in that. And it's just amazing. When I started, handful of people involved, and today there's thousands of people. And yet we don't have the universities turning them out. They always turn, a lot of them will go through forestry, but instead of turning it into utility veg management, they turn it into urban forestry. We have the jobs, the demand, the budgets, and yet they're training people for urban forestry. Hopefully that changes. I'm really excited about the program that was put together and is being offered by the University of Wisconsin at Stevens Point. I think that is a great way to help the people that are coming out of whatever natural resource background, don't know the industry. It really is a way to quickly start to bring them up to speed. So anxious to see that thing continue to evolve. I think it'll be one of the answers, at least.
Do you think, how much of this story do you think becomes a global discussion? Right. Obviously, we see what's happening in Australia and in different parts of Europe as well. And it's not just about the fires. It's about the infrastructure, right? The decaying infrastructure, our reliance on this big, clunky 500 kV type stuff. How much do you think this is what we're seeing here in the U.S. is gonna really explode over there in terms of these programs?
Yeah. Well, when you say U.S., I think U.S., Canada, and maybe to a lesser degree, but hopefully ever increasing Mexico, the North American market.
I try not to say Canada because I don't want Craig to give me grief.
So Australia does have a lot of similarities. I think a lot of opportunities to share. It is a unique market, so it really is taking ideas and figuring out how do they fit in. One of the mistakes I made with ECI when I led that operation is you think that the solutions here fit elsewhere. The concepts fit, but it's making them work that is a little trickier than you think. So I really think we have things that we could do with them, the folks there.
Specifically what, though? Is it just like culturally? Is it like, because it's not that Australia, obviously both English speaking countries, like, is it a utility sort of lens that's different? Is how they think about capital risk management? Like what didn't necessarily translate specifically?
Yeah, I'll just give you one example. I went to Northern Ireland. We thought we could run a program. We had such success building programs, reducing tree-caused outages. Go to Northern Ireland with all of our great solutions and put them on a budget, scheduled circuit maintenance, and their outages skyrocketed. So everything we did wasn't working. Why was it? Well, they didn't do any live line work. So every time they touched a tree, they took the line out of service. So a stupid little thing like that we should have caught right away. It wasn't until we saw the results so we didn't apply the right concept, or we applied the right concept. We didn't do it very well at first.
When you identified that, then then you go back and have a conversation with the utility and say, hey, listen, by the way, like, we do live line work in the US and these are the reasons, like, we feel like it's still safe because these are the metrics around it, or it was like, no, this is Ireland. We take everything out of service and then we do the work.
Well, It was both a matter of helping them understand that it can be done safely. But it was also the reality is that that's not in their short-term future. So maybe we can begin changing culture, but we had to change our culture and attitude. How do we accommodate their operating environment?